Hello, everyone. Good to be recording again. I was going to say nice to see you again, but I'm not seeing you, so that would be presenting a complication. If you notice any kind of absence from me, and I severely doubt you have, given that I've only posted 2 videos thus far at this point, it's because I was at Youth Annual Conference with the United Methodist Church, of which I am a member. Absolutely fantastic time, absolutely had a blast. One of the better decisions of my life to go. But we're not here to talk about my life. We are here for quote-unquote puns, random quotes of wisdom. So, in a process which should be familiar by now, random page, random quote. The cynic says, "One man can't do anything." I say, "Only one man can do anything." This quote is attributed to John Gardner and is in a chapter attributed to determination. One man can't do anything, says the cynic. You know, as a political radical, I have heard that saying so many times. It's so much that it's become something of a cliche for me to hear. It's become an annoyance almost. It's almost as if though, the non-radicals, so to speak, it's their catchphrase, their motto, which is natural, of course. I mean, we look at the world around us and we see the average man who attempts to do something and fails spectacularly to do so. So it becomes natural for us to become cynical and say that one single man can't do anything. Then we look at other people, like Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi. We look at historical examples like Mother Teresa. We look at more recent examples, too, like Bill Gates, for example. Edward Snowden. And we realize that there seem to be at least certain individuals, select persons, who are gifted with the ability to do things. It just seems to be what their life is built to do. I mean, well, it's not like we're those people now, is it? But, I mean, we can't all be Martin Luther King Jr., we can't all be Bill Gates, we can't all be Steve Jobs, we can't all be Mother Teresa. We can't all touch history. If we could all touch history, then the concept of historical figure would be a moot point, because we'd all be historical figures. But then Mr. Gardner goes on to say that, according to him, only one man can do anything. That, to me, again, as a political activist and radical, is an absolute and fundamental truth. For anything to get done, ever, an amount of effort has to be put in. And for us human beings, living beings, effort requires energy, and energy requires time. So you require effort, energy, and time to do anything and get anything done. We then have a law of physics, as put forth by Sir Isaac Newton, saying that things in motion tend to stay in motion, but by the same token, things at rest tend to stay at rest. As a result of that basic fact of the universe, we require to invest time, energy, and effort before anything can happen. As a result of that, many people say that nothing can happen. Why? Because no one wants to invest time, energy, and effort. I said that if we could all be historical figures, the concept of a historical figure would be a moot point. I think we all can be historical figures. But we aren't. For the simple reason that we believe we can't be. It's been said, it's a cliche saying to say that attitude is everything, that if you believe you can, then you can. And For the most part, it's true. It's absolutely true. I mean, sure, I can't sprout wings and fly with the birds just by believing I can. But I could build myself wings. Leonardo da Vinci did that. It never worked, but he tried. Could have succeeded as well if he continued trying, experimenting, and then made a few more breakthroughs. I mean, for God's sakes, the man is the great-grandfather of modern aeronautics. If it weren't for him, the Wright brothers would never have been inspired to create their own flying machine. For the unaware, their inspiration behind the Wright brothers was a Da Vinci invention. What am I getting at here? I'm getting at the fact that pardon my pause as I recollect my thoughts. The fact of the matter is, for the most part, if we believe we can do something, we can do it. That's all it takes. No, that's stupid of me to say. Really, really stupid of me to say. First, you have to believe in something. But then you also have to put in the time, energy, and effort to make it happen. And that's where a lot of people draw the line. I believe in a free world, says so many. A world where all men are treated equally and fairly, where no one goes hungry and no one is poor. But then they walk the streets and see a dozen homeless people starving, freezing. Do they offer their services to assist? Do they offer a warm home, a hot meal? Do they even do so much as offer spare change or, God forbid, some loose money, hard cash, beyond just some spare pennies, to allow them to find a meal of their own? I mean, for God's sakes, it takes $1 to get a sandwich from McDonald's. Even I can think of at least 100 different ways 100 different people could take that and completely argue against me. But I'm not here to discuss charity and the issue of the poor. I'm simply making the example that if an individual doesn't take the time, the effort, the energy to invest in something they believe in, it's not going to happen. It's just that simple. With the example of the egalitarian, I shouldn't use that word. I'm not entirely sure what it means, so I won't risk using it incorrectly. In the case of the individual who believes in a fair world where no man is poor, if he doesn't give some of his own money to other people who need money to survive, if his stated goal is to prevent people from freezing to death on the streets or going hungry on the streets, if he does nothing himself to prevent that, then how can he expect anyone else to do it? I mean, we're waiting for everyone else around us to do what we believe in. And yet we say that we believe in it. Do you see the contradiction there? Oh, I can't do it by myself. Well, of course. Who else will, then? Who can do it by themselves? Well, not me. Well, then who? Name names. Give us an idea of what this leader looks like. Who will lead us in this crusade for what we believe in? Will he be tall? Short? Will he be poor? Rich? Middle class? Will he be young? Will he be old? Will he be middle-aged? Will he be a child? Will you follow a child if they do what you believe in? Is that what it takes, just to see someone else doing it? Human beings have a tendency to believe in a lot of stuff. I'll say that. I say a lot of things, and that's going to be one of them now. Human beings believe in a lot of stuff. God, gods, no gods, certain gods, demons, devils, angels. We believe in each other sometimes. That helps, I would think. But sometimes it's to a fault. We believe in each other so much that we don't believe in ourselves. And I think that's the greatest irony of the human race. Only in this regard, of course. There are many, many great ironies of the human race. But in this regard, according in the context of this quote, we believe in other people. People like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, as I said. Again, I already went through the list. You can go back in the video if you want to see it again. But we don't believe in ourselves to do anything. We're willing to follow, but not to lead. We're willing to emulate, but not make an example. We're willing to follow by example, but not lead by example. We're willing to believe in something, but we're not willing to do anything about that belief. Of course, it's natural. I won't say there's nothing wrong with it, but there's no shame in it. I've said before on my other videos, it's human nature. You shouldn't feel bad for being human. You shouldn't feel bad for having errors and faults and cracks and mistakes in your personality. One man can't do anything. Only one man can do anything. I believe that the historical examples I've already listed prove that the cynical statement is the false one. Because evidently one man can do quite a bit. In fact, it just came to me the story of a man who lived in India. At least I believe it was in India. I'll have to double check on that. Between his village and the nearest medical center was a 30-mile... No, it was longer. I don't remember the exact trek, but it was an extremely long, extremely painful trek around or over a mountain. Most of his people died in illness because they couldn't afford to leave their village for days and days and days upon end to go to the medical center. He believed that was not right. He believed that his people should be able to access that medical facility, which was more than willing to help them, of course. It's a medical facility. It's filled with doctors all pledged to help those in need. Did he agitate and talk about finding a way to make it happen? Did he try to bring the medical center to him? No. I'll tell you what he did. He got some tools. He went over to the mountain, and he started picking at it. Picking and digging, and picking and digging, and picking and digging every single day. For years! Decades, I believe it was. I won't give a precise number because I don't remember it. I don't want to give inaccurate numbers. As I recall it, he either tunneled through the mountain or leveled the damn thing. Leveled it. The journey went from exorbitantly long to, I think, maybe a day, 2 days, a couple of hours. Short. Short is the point. It became a short trip. The man believed in something, and rather than waiting for someone else to do something about it or trying to persuade other people to do something about it, he did something himself. And lo and behold, it took a really long time. Something got done. The man literally moved a mountain, people. Because he believed he could. And he believed he should. So that's my challenge to all of you now. Find something that you believe in. Believe in it. Invest that time, energy, and effort. Be that one person. Lead by example. You hear it all the time, and it seems like no one ever listens. So what happens now? As always, that's up to you. So, you, insert name here. What example are you gonna live by? Figure it out.